Hope you guys are having a blessed day. It's your boy Fear, aka Fear No Man. We're gonna keep it super simple today. This is my first video ever, and I think it's probably gonna be one of my most, hopefully it's probably my most dramatic video in a sense, or at least my saddest video. The premise is, as of May 1st, and all my respects go out to the family and to the victims who are affected by his passing. But as of May 1st, a homeless individual, an African male, residing in the city of New York, named Jordan Neely, has sadly passed away due to actions that could have been prevented by fellow innocent bystanders. And the craziest part is that the person who killed this young man in the first place was a bystander, by no means innocent. Excuse me. I won't even say his name in this title, to be honest, because I don't want to give any reverence to anyone who feels like that they are in the right or there was any justification for what actually happened. The premise is a 30-year-old man stumbles upon the F train in New York City, a subway, and declares prominently to the crowd that he is both hungry and thirsty. Any civilian who lives in New York is not differentiated from the lifestyle that is not given to most people. They're not oblivious to the fact that there are homeless people in New York. Most civilians who live in New York take the train or the subway. And when they do, they normally encounter these very homeless people that they know exist in the first place, who sometimes might either be a little mentally awry or just disadvantaged in the sense that they are pleading for something in excess. The premise is today, this man was pleading for the fact that he was hungry and he was thirsty. He was being a little bit boisterous on the train, which promoted the inclination that he might have gotten physical or might get physical in the future, in a matter of seconds, in a matter of minutes. We don't know what apparently the murderer, let's say the murderer, knew at this time in his sixth sense, but apparently other people around him might have thought the same thing similarly. Normally, besides someone or several people picking up the camera and videotaping something that happens like this, because there's countless of homeless musicians who stumble into loud crazes and furies on trains a multitude of times, and they get turned into nothing but just vines and little laughing stocks, or vines and laughing stocks for the moments. But the premise is, this man's story was a little bit more, I guess, immediate, more detrimental to them. And instead of feeling that it was funny, it posed a greater threat to the the numerous individuals that outnumber this one man on the train, which would make no sense to me, because what I'm trying to say to this is that unless this homeless man had a gun or something and was talking crazy, that's the only way that one man would individually affect countless of people on a subway train, specifically because there's multiple carts on the subway itself. Most civilians or citizens in New York know that you could just get up at any moment's time, any wall in the manor, and just walk up to another cart to avoid altercation. Because of the killer's ex-Marine background, apparently he took it upon himself to, instead of get it up and verbally delegate the situation, to take physical matters into his own hands and distribute an obsessive amount of force to the victim in this scenario. He goes behind Mr. Neely and puts him in, I quote, a blood choke, a specific maneuver used in the Marines or in martial arts specifically to to lock off the blood flow in your veins, in your vital organ, and limit not just the oxygen, but like I said, but the blood flow itself going to your brain and backwards. It's a blood choke. The premise is under under a prolonged duration, this man had successfully succeeded to both take down the so-called crazed victim at this time, and then after having another person help him, restraining his arms and everything, even though in the videos that I'll probably prompt on the screen, it shows that this man needed no assistance by anyone else, and anyone else who was assisting this man was literally just doing it for the fact that I'm not certain they just wanted to pick on someone and make it seem like they were doing it in the means that they were helping the greater good. Because in the video, it's obvious to see that the Caucasian male who has the guy in a forceful chokehold has everything put together at that point. Obviously, the male who is in the chokehold is flailing for his life because he cannot breathe. He is in a level of concern where he feels like his life is being threatened. But apparently that reaction goes completely over the head of everyone on the train. Like, oh, maybe this is too much. Maybe the guy who's choking him is dragging it or something. And instead of taking himself and releasing the chokehold, he continues until this man is presumably dead. Now, when this guy passes away, they do not know that he has passed away. Quote unquote, from the articles that I've read from the New York Times and NPR and a couple other establishments, it was one of the bystanders that was helping him restrain the victim's arms that spoke to the murderer and told him, it seems like Mr. Neely has defecated on himself. At that response, the bystander also said there's no need to catch a murder charge for this. As in, they assumed that because they might have thought that maybe the defecation was a result of Mr. Neely passing out from the chokehold, that okay, we have done our jobs, there's no need to kill this guy. When they found out that the excrement on the man that they had found was actually dated, in a sign of relief, they said, okay, I guess our job here is done. He releases the chokehold. Innocent bystanders come through, and then they pronounce the man as dead. This man has only served and will only serve has not yet to. This man will only presumably serve 15 years in jail for taking the life of someone who is only 6 years older than him. Who knows if Mr. Neely would have gotten his life straightened out and surpassed the age of 45. That's 15 years on top of his death. At the age of 46, what could he have done? He could have been a brand new person. He could have been the millionaire that you would have esteemed instead of dimming in this light. So therefore, all I'm trying to say is, when it comes to taking a life, I'm not saying that we have to go back to Babylonian times where it's a life for a life, or we're in Dubai and it's an ear for an ear or something. But 15 years for someone who had no absolute reason to be there in the first place and cause physical harm or restraining to anyone. He'd even say, this is a citizen's arrest, stop it, or flash a special undercover Marine badge that gives him the jurisdiction to act like an animal after he's left the service. The craziest part is that during this whole during the trial, during the pre-trial after the incident, they found out that the ex-Marine has never actually seen combat in his years of service. So therefore, him acting in such a vulgar and pretentious manner is literally I'm not gonna say it's anything racially aggravated, but the premise is though it was obviously not it was obviously not the right time, the moment, or the amount of energy to apply in such a sensitive situation. If he wanted to simply restrain the person, even a physical fight where even punching the man would have not have killed him. If anyone has ever been put in a chokehold before, martial arts reasons, maybe you're training or actually in a fight, you realize that it is probably one of the most, if not demeaning, but the most constricting and painful movements to ever be put in your entire life. It is worse than getting probably jumped by a couple people than like literally them just stomping you in the head or something. It's pretty much worse than that. Seriously. To put this in comparison, the killer for George Floyd only received 22.5 years in jail for kneeling on a man's neck in public while getting recorded, both from his body camera and from the outside world, after that man was screaming for help. 22.5 years with 3 sentences. This man has 15 years with 1 sentence. So now, I don't know if I need to become a lawyer in the next month before his court date, hire someone to represent the family, apparently, because I don't know why they're trying to limit the actual impact that this man should have on his own life because he took some other's man's life. But the premise is 15 years, 1 sentence for doing something that you're not even getting paid to do anymore, lawfully, whatever, legally, anything, is ridiculous. It should have been at least a life sentence. It should have been at least 20 years. So if I don't see 15 go to 30, I don't know. I'm gonna have to make another one of these videos, to be honest. Seriously though. Because there's too many people, too many right wing, left wing, middle wing, I don't give a fuck, bro. Too many fucking what is that nigga name? Ryan Wittenhouse supporters, too many fucking BLM bashers, bro, to realize that that this is exactly what they fucking want, bro. There's too many of them in the world to realize that if you keep letting people slip underneath the radar like this, even if it's by a day or 2 years or 0.5 years, 22.5 years, seriously, for the guy who killed George Floyd, when there's people in life right now doing life, San Quentin Rikers everywhere, man, for just gang banging on a block. And that gang banging was the result of retaliation. So let me not even make it seem like, oh, I'm excusing the killing of someone else because it has to do with black on black violence instead of white to black. No, I'm just trying to say that there seemed to be, if we're going to bring it back down to like Babylonian times, some sort of justified reason why, I don't know, countless of people go missing in the hood every other day. I'm going to say someone's uncle getting into something. There was someone who got killed 30 years ago. Some things really need to get settled. I'm not going to be a hypocrite, okay? Just like how they have the court system, some things really need to get fucking settled, bro. Seriously. So 15 years is cool. And I'm not calling for the harm of this man. But if you're trying to tell me after 15 years, anyone in this situation is supposed to feel justified, the family, the victims, the people who had to see that on the train, that's ridiculous. And I think that everyone that was around him at the time making that act, the guy who was holding the hands away, restraining him further while he was flailing around trying to breathe for his life, should be acquitted too. They should get another 15 years, all of them. Everyone who looked at that man die should get acquitted, bro. I'm not even kidding. If I was at the scene and I seen that happen, I would hope that they come and arrest me, because the guilt I would have on my soul afterwards, just to be in the presence of something that evil. I read an article, and one of the writers poetically said that before Mr. Neely even stepped on that chain that day, he was already dead. As in the way the world that the audience in the train and even himself view him, he was not a part of the actual world that we enjoy so much comfort in. Excuse me. And what I mean by that is that a simple man, no matter how crazy they make him out to see or whatever happens, steps on a train and is pleading desperately for the simple factors of life that you need to survive. And instead of pulling him to the side, slipping him $1, something or anything, your first reaction is to automatically believe that because he's obstructing your day-to-day life, your upper echelon comfort, he is a threat to you. I don't even care if this man was going around slapping people on the train. Every person slapping them straight. I don't care. That means that you get up and you slap that nigga. That means you get up and you punch him in the face. That means you get up and you resolve the issue verbally or whatever until that train stops and then the police comes and whatever. Let them do their jobs. And I don't even like police officers. But you're gonna tell me, oh, this man did nothing yet but just open his mouth and you're gonna get up and do that to him? I can't wait until you open your fucking mouth in prison, man. 15 years. I cannot wait. And that's the end of this video. Seriously though. I just want to start a new platform where I can at least get the crazy shit off my chest, because a lot of people feel like they have to edit a video for 2 fucking hours just to say the simplest shit. Shit is wrong. We shouldn't go for it. We as YouTubers, as a community that can garner over $30 million, 30 million people to click on one video, should realize that there's 30 million people who click on that specific video or this video or this video or this video, should all eventually come out of it feeling like they have an underlying message that makes them better. Like, oh, we should value humanity, love ourselves, value life, love life, and value the fact that people are the very essence of life in itself. So if we take people for granted, the shit we do for them, I don't know, man. That means we have to take this whole shit for granted. This whole infrastructure of reality, of the world, of everything, man. We have to just take it out of context and say that we don't actually value our fucking selves. If you can harm an individual like that, the man who did that to him, that means you don't fucking value yourself, bro. And I hope there's some way that you could... Nah, man, I don't hope that on nobody, man. I just hope there's some way you can rectify that shit in your soul. And you know there ain't no fucking way, bro. So before I say something that I don't want to say on here, for real, I hope you have a blessed day, sir. I hope everyone who sees it has a blessed day, because you're going to need it. You're going to need it. You're going to need a blessed day every single day. And I hope it's for at least 30 fucking years. Seriously, bro. And that's not because I'm black or no nothing. And that's just weird. That's wrong. That's weird as fuck. There's not a fucking nigga in life. There's not a fucking person, bro. Even if it was me and my op on the train or somebody, man. I'm going to take that nigga outside. We going to wait until that train stops and we going to resolve our issue, man. You going to do it in front of people? You don't do it so you can demean and disrespect this man while he's literally on the floor in front of people who just trying to fucking, bro, who actually in front of people who'd actually rather see that shit happen instead of him just getting away with it, man. You literally did it in front of an audience that you knew would applaud you for it. So much that a man literally came up and helped you. That's ridiculous, man. That's all I have to say for this. My respects. My condolences. Rest in peace to Jordan Neely. You will be greatly missed. Obviously, we have no relation, and I do not know you personally, sir. But I would like to feel, through all the goosebumps in my body right now, that this world and this universe has connected us because we are brothers. Through the wind, through the stars, through God, through Jesus, we are brothers. We are brothers. We are brothers. I would call you guys akin to blood brothers just because you guys don't share the same genetic makeup. How do you know that? Were you back then? Were you back then with Lucy? Chilling with her? Did you fuck Lucy? Do you know what fucking came after her? No, bro. So don't put your hands on nobody like they not your fucking family, bro. Love everybody. And before you do something, Think about what would happen if somebody did that to you. The golden fucking rule got me tripping over my fucking words and shit, man. I'm done, man. Rest in peace to the great ones, honestly. And fuck you.